Sanibonani, ngiyethemba ukuthi niyaphila. Guys, I think I can safely say that we all want to live the good life. We want to have lots and lots of money so that we can fund the lifestyle of our dreams. We want to be able to do what we want, go where we want, whenever we want. Certainly, we want to be free from stress and worry and anxiety that comes with being broke. But sadly, for many, this seems like a distant dream that will never become a reality. Because no matter how hard we try, no matter how hard we work, we just can't seem to get ahead. Our money keeps running away from us into the arms of other people. Why is that? Why are you broke and getting poorer and poorer when there's a minority of people that are getting richer and richer? What is it that they know that you don't know? I will tell you what it is. Those who are getting richer and richer know and understand how the financial system works, and therefore they're able to exploit it and take advantage of it and benefit from it. Whilst you, on the other hand, you lack the knowledge of the system and its work and how it works, so you become a victim of the system rather than a beneficiary. But that stops today, because in this video, I am going to show you how the money system works and how you can take advantage of it, so that you move from being a victim to becoming a beneficiary. I know you guys are eager for me to start, so let's go. Well, as humanity, we run this system through systems of control. These systems are designed to influence your mind and therefore your behavior, which ultimately determines the direction your life will take. In short, these systems are designed to control our lives. There's 12 of them, but I'm only going to mention some of them. They are the financial system, legal, religion, science, education, politics, art, to name but some of them. You will notice that at the heart of it all, I have put the financial system, because it is the financial system that funds the rest of the systems, and it is the financial system that determines and impacts your life directly. That is why it is so important for you to know how it works. Those who educate themselves on how the system works, they are the ones who tend to do well in life. They are the ones that are getting richer and richer. But those who do not know how the system works, or who do not educate themselves, tend to get caught up in a vicious cycle of debt called the red race, working hard but going nowhere, like this guy over here. So our aim is to not be like this guy, but be like this guy who looks like Inkinsela esemkungundlovu. So how does the system work? Well, it all starts with the government saying, I need money to spend, but I don't have any, or I don't have enough. So they contact the National Treasury. To raise money, the National Treasury generates pieces of paper called government bonds. These are simply certificates that say, please borrow the South African government a certain amount of money, and we promise our citizens will pay it back with interest over a certain period of time. It could be a year, it could be 3, 5, 10 years, it could be 30 years, it depends. Now, this money that the government borrows becomes our national debt that you and I, our children, and our generations to come are obligated to pay back with interest. Currently, our national debt is sitting at 4.2 trillion rands. In 2019, it was sitting at just over 3 trillion rands. Fast forward 4 years, 2023, it's sitting over 4.2 trillion rands. Now, we know that in South Africa, we have about 55 million people. So each and every citizen has a debt obligation of around 77,275. But in reality, we know that almost half the population in this country is not working. So in reality, it's only roughly about 28 million people who can pay off this debt. So if you divide the total debt by 28 million, which is the number of taxpayers who can actually pay off this debt, so you see that per taxpayer, we owe roughly 155,000 rands per person. This is the amount of money that we owe the big lenders, and you can see it's growing by the second. So each and every single second, we are becoming more and more indebted to the big lenders. And where does this money come from? It comes from your salary. Half of your salary is taken away from you so that this debt can be paid off, so that this debt can be serviced. So already you are on the back foot. So let's continue. The National Treasury then sells these government bonds to the big banks and the big financial institutions. In return, the financial institutions pay the National Treasury money, known as currency. So the National Treasury gets its currency money, and the big banks and the big institutions now hold government bonds. These big institutions now turn and sell these bonds to the South African Reserve Bank. To buy these bonds, the South African Reserve Bank writes a check from an account that has got a zero balance. So in actual fact, it's creating money, because you and I, when we write a check, there has to be money in our bank account, otherwise the check will bounce. But the South African Reserve Bank has the ability to write a check from an account that has got a zero balance, and thereby creating money. So the Reserve Bank then buys these bonds from these banks, and the corporate banks and the big financial institutions gets their money back plus interest. This cycle repeats itself over and over and over until on the National Treasury side, you have an accumulation of currency, the money that the government wants, and on the South African Reserve Bank side, you have an accumulation of government bonds. Now, bear in mind that this money that the Treasury holds currently, which is this one, it's called currency, it was created out of thin air by the Reserve Bank. Some of it is physical paper currency, but most of it is just numbers tapped in a computer and transferred into the account of the government. Now, the National Treasury then distributes this money or currency to the various departments of the government. The government then spends this money through various projects, such as welfare, the military, public works, bailing out failing state-owned entities, and the like. So over time, the government employees, the service providers, the businesses earn income, and then they take that money, that income, and they deposit that money in the banks. Now, this is where most of the voodoo magic happens at the banks. It's called fractional reserve banking, and it will be the subject of part 2 of this topic. So for now, I will end here, and I want you guys to watch this video several times so that you become familiar with the first part of the system. But so far, you can see, even at the beginning stages of this process, you can see that there are two main beneficiaries of this process. It is the government, because they get their money, and it is the banks, the corporate banks, the big financial institutions, because they earn interest on this debt here that the government has created. All right, so guys, watch this video again and then get familiar with it. I will stop here. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and I will see you on the next video.